what are we up to today? Well, I'm cutting plugs off things. Now, why are we doing that? Well, one of the things I am qualified to do is test and tag plugs. And I got one just recently. This is one of my own ones. It had been donated to me. And they'd wrapped some tape around this, and there was technically an in-date test tag hanging off it, which is now not there. And now I see this a lot. A lot of people will put tape around a cracked plug or something like this and go, yeah, look, that should be fairly safe. I'm going to dissect this one and show you why that isn't necessarily always the case. Now, I haven't investigated much further in this one, but we want to have a look. Now, it's also worth noting rather, that this is the current standard for electrical plugs. And note these two black shrouds here. That's so that stuff like Venetian blinds and spoons and stuff can't make a short circuit by trying to pry it off the plug. The other end of this lead that I've also chopped off, as you'll see, doesn't have those shrouds on the plug. So yeah, that for a start means I can't tag it as safe. So let's pull this apart and see what's happening here. Straight away, the strain relief's not working. By that being there. Now this is an older type of plug where they've had a hammered wedge in here to hold this in. I'm going to get some pliers into this. Top drawer, my pliers are in. Top drawer. So straight away we can see our strain relief is not working at all, and you can see the grip here that's supposed to hold it in is also broken. So the fact that this plug is cracked means that there's no longer any strain relief. Now this is a pin retaining ring, and we can see here that all the clips to retain the ring, the clips are all broken off. The moment that is free, all these clips just come flying out of here and can come out. Now if you push a plug in here and they get loose and you have them touch in here, you can potentially have a dead short, or you can cross phases. All sorts of things can go wrong. Another thing I'm not a fan of in these plugs is the way they hold on to the cable. If they're put together wrong, you can see here it's starting to chafe the cable, and you can have an insulation breakdown when that happens. In this case it hasn't quite got that far, but without a strain relief, a little bit more wriggling and it wouldn't have been very far away. Let's have a look inside here. Straight away I can see there's a pile of pieces falling out of here. This has been hit pretty hard, and it's a very old and sun-perished plug, and it's all started to break away inside there. So again, that is potentially an insulation breakdown, although these have been nice in that they've got a good isolation between active and neutral here. That's still intact, but you know, another belt on the ground, that might not have been. So yeah, if anybody had grabbed hold of this plug and put any kind of force on it, potentially you could end up with a scenario like this laying on the floor. And in that case, the earth wire is not going to save you. Yeah, contacting either one of these two, if you don't have RCDs, which unfortunately a lot of places still don't, despite it being mandatory, that could result in injury or death. So yeah, I don't like these older style plugs, and they're no longer certified either. So they need to be AS/NZS 3760 certified, or at least they need to pass that standard when I put them on the test machine. So that's pretty much it. That's also why just putting tape over it is not the whole picture. It doesn't always make it safe. So, and I can tell you now, a little bit of duct tape that was on this would not have stopped that separating. Now, another little tip about duct tape, especially the silver kind of duct tape, can be conductive. And some brands of very cheap insulation tape also have a metal powder in the pigment, and that makes them slightly conductive as well. And in Australia, where we use 240 volts, that can be conductive enough to cause a problem. So yeah, duct tape is for joining ducts, air conditioning ducts, like these things, not for insulating electrical stuff. That's what insulation tape for. Now, if you are going to use this against better advice, use proper insulation tape. And I always use the Nitto brand stuff. You can see inside here. That is proper top grade insulation tape. I don't use anything else because nothing else quite does the job right. It's also certified. So yeah, and it's not expensive either. But anyway, that's my teardown of a buggered plug. Another quickie, just for channel packer till I can get some of the big stuff going again. Anyway, I'll see you next time.